guys, it's Di from BeingMommywithStyle, and today I'm bringing you a few fun crafts. So I have these printables on my website that you can download, and this is actually inside a Dollar Tree frame. We have done this a few times before for a fun countdown that uses just a dry erase marker, and it's really easy to change out. I also have this great craft which I shared on my Instagram, and this is a DIY Mickey basket. This cost all of $3 to make. I absolutely love this. So you can see that this is made out of more of a nautical rope, and this is super simple to make. I'm going to share with you today how you make these and how you can make these at home. So this is using some rope that I got, the nautical rope, out of the floral section at the Dollar Tree, and I used 3 spools of it. So this cost me $3 to make, and I already had a hot glue gun on hand, so you'll also need a hot glue gun. It also is handy if you have packing tape or some sort of way to seal the ends. So today I'm going to be sharing making one of these with just a regular jute rope that I got at Hobby Lobby, and you can see it's going to be a similar effect where you're just making the rope, building it on top of each other, and you can make these super cute baskets to use as a decoration. You can put it as a part of your countdown area, and they are really fun and easy to make. They'd also make a really great gift. So for our nautical basket over here, I just made it out of this nautical rope cotton, and this is something that I found at the Dollar Tree in the floral and garden section where all the flowers are. I used 3 rolls of this, and this was actually made out of the little bit smaller rope. So you can see that they have 2 sizes, the smaller one and the little bit larger one. So we're going to make a few different sizes here today, and I will show you what all of those look like. But I thought that this was a really great basket to be able to hold things. You could put magic bands in them, jewelry. You could use it for a lot of different things in an office, for office supplies. This is a really fun kind of Mickey item that it can be inspired for around the house. And then this rope was a little bit more expensive. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It came in this spool. It was actually over by the wedding section, floral and wedding. And it was $6.99 regular price. I did get this half off, so it was about $3.50 for one of these. And I got a couple of these to use. So you can do this pretty inexpensively, but if you're going to use a couple of the regular rope, this will cost you about $7 to $10 to make, depending on the price that you get it. So I'm going to open these up and show you how we will get started. I make all of the bases of the basket first, and then you're going to add on the top to keep everything collected inside. So after I have my rope all pulled apart here, I have my glue gun, which is a hot temp glue gun, and it is heating up. You're also going to need some scissors so you can cut the different ends, and I've been using packing tape to help the ends kind of seal. You're just going to pick one side of your rope, and you're just going to start turning it in on yourself. So after I've picked which edge I'm going to start with here, I'm just going to actually start by picking one side. I'm going to roll it inside, and I want to find a point that's going to be my bottom of the basket and the point that's going to be the top. So as I'm rolling around, I'm going to be able to put it just flat here down on my wax paper that I'm using to cover my workstation. And as I'm rolling this around, this is actually going to be my bottom that's facing me right now. And I can just make the spool and start making the big base for the Mickey head first. And I'm going to go ahead and I can spin this around as many times as I want. I'm going to tuck those ends down in there. And again, this rope and twine, it's all pretty easy to work with, which is nice. So I'm just going to start getting my spool going so I can see how big this is going to need to be. I haven't had to use any glue or anything first. You can see I'm just spinning it around. And we're making our base, that's this bottom part right here. So this is going to be our face area. So I'm just going to spin this to as big as I want it. And you don't have to get it all the way. You can even do the next step and start it when you're about midway through. You just want to make sure that it's really tight. So if it starts loosening up, you can take a pause. And the next step is you're going to find in the center where this starts, and you're going to actually glue those pieces down right here in the center. So I'm going to just touch that down and get that glued down to get that started. And you want to let that dry, but that'll be the beginning of your basket. And then as that dries, you're just going to go along the edge, and again, this will be the bottom of your basket, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. But you're just gonna run a bead of hot glue around the edge. Just keep going around the circle. It's kind of like follow the yellow brick road. And you wanna make sure that it's thoroughly coated. It doesn't have to be too thick, but just enough to keep the basket together. So that way if you pick it up and you're moving it around, it will kind of stay put. And it does a nice job of blending in, but you can kind of see where you've been, so that way you don't miss any spots, because like right here, it kind of is blending in a lot, so I can kind of see where I need to go here. And you're just gonna keep going all the way around. So all of these different crevices between the different rope pieces, you wanna make sure to go all the way around them with just a real thin bead of hot glue. And I am using the high temp hot glue. So we're just gonna go all the way around. So I'm gonna continue this all the way around, and you again wanna make sure it's pretty tight, so if it starts to come unwound towards the ends, you can let the center parts dry a little bit, and you can keep twisting this out here. So you can see that I have the whole inside kind of glued together, and this is one spool that I've just taped the end and cut it off here. One spool that I have going so far, that this will be the main part of our base. And then I will take the second spool and I will cut that in half to make the ears. And then the third spool I will actually use to go around the edges, and it becomes kind of the sides of the Mickey basket or the tray. So I'm just gonna keep running this glue all the way around my circle, and it's okay if this is like one braid too wide than you think it should be, because actually the sides of the basket sit on one of the braids, so it ends up looking a little bit smaller than how it initially looks when you're putting it together. So I am going to finish off the glue, and you can see that this is just my first spiral here. And this will be the bottom. And then after that glue dries, then you can kind of pick it up and you can see this is what it's gonna look like on the front. So you don't have any of that glue showing through from the front, and you can cut any pieces that are hanging off like that one, and it's really nice and flat because you've just been spinning it around there. I have a couple glue pieces that are stuck to my wax paper here that I can get out of the way. So then for my second piece of rope here, I've just put it in half, put a piece of tape here, and I'm gonna cut with the rope grain. So you can see I'm kind of cutting in between two areas there, so that makes it a little bit easier to cut. So then that makes my one really long piece of rope. It makes it two medium pieces of rope, and then each of these pieces of rope is going to become the ears. So I'm just going to move this over to the side, and we can start making the ears out of this rope. So here I have my other half of the rope that I cut. And sometimes right at the end it just needs an extra bead of glue to stay glued, or you can just sit there and hold it. So for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Now after you have the three dry pieces, the spirals, you can turn them over and start working on putting them together. If you have any kind of little flyaway pieces sticking up, or just a random piece that needs to get cut off, you can do that now. And I have my glued side, and it's going to be facing down, and then the top side you can see is all together, but it's not showing any glue. So same thing with my ears. I'm going to turn those over so the glue side is down, and I can start placing them where I would like them. So this is my favorite part. You just got to space everything out. You can see it forms into a Mickey pretty quickly. And then we're going to take our third rope. We're gonna take this apart and get the ends secured with some tape. And then we're gonna start making our edges. And you wanna put a bead of glue, not too far around, but just on the top, on the outside layer only, because it's gonna get covered up, so it doesn't matter that you can see it. But I am going to stick this on there and put it on the top of where that glue is. So it's sticking right to there. And this is how we're gonna start building it up. So you wanna go right along the outside, just on the most outer edge. And we are gonna start putting our third piece of rope all the way around, and then that's gonna become the side for the basket. Now here, there's a couple different ways you can transition. Since this is a thicker rope, you can actually have it be 3 separate places where the rope's going up and around, but there's kind of a meeting place here. Or if it's a smaller rope, you can make it to where it's all one big Mickey and there's not as much of a come together point there. So we're going to be coming together a little bit closer with this one than the smaller rope, just because this is a thicker rope. So we're going to take it up and around, and the same thing, it's going to go around on the outermost section of the ears. And this is also what gives the whole basket some rigidity. So hopefully you enjoyed checking out this DIY and how to make these easy baskets at home. I absolutely love these. It's kind of a quick grab and go basket. You could decorate this however you really wanted. You could put some plants in there. You could decorate it to where it was kind of a catch-all where you had keys, and really just kind of decorate it up to whatever you wanted to have inside. Hold all your MagicBands in there. It's really kind of a fun concept that there's a lot of different things that you could do with it. So let me know if you have any questions down below. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.